So I think I got everything going again. I don't think it was my, I don't think it was so much Synaptic that screwed my system up. I think it was that the hex editor I was using was buggy. I got a newer version of it, and it seems to be doing okay. It took me a minute to, what do you call it? When I installed it, it was crashing because it was using an older configuration file, and I think they were incompatible. So I just cleared out the configuration file, and it actually does the file comparison okay now. Like, it took me a while to figure that out, but once I did, everything seems to be doing alright again. Which I'm glad. Okay, so when you're doing the hex editing, you take you start your game up, you run it. This file here is going to be the a brand new file without anything in it, and then this one's going to be a file that I played earlier and had gotten. I don't know what it is at the moment. I saved it at 548 gold, but I'm sure I've edited it since then, so it's the gold amount might actually be different. But the trick is that you do a side-by-side comparison of the two. I actually prefer top to bottom because you can see all the rows there. Or all the columns, I mean. So yeah, you compare the two. If you'll notice here, it's highlighting the digits that are different. When you scroll through these, the the bits that are here that are the same as in the other file that you're comparing it to, if they're the exact same bits, then it doesn't highlight them. It only highlights the ones that have actually changed from one revision to the other. And you basically scroll through till you find something that you're till you find the one thing that you're looking for. So in this case, we're looking for the gold. I think it's 548, if that number is correct. I don't know that it is, but okay, so 548 would end up being a hexadecimal equivalent of 224. The thing is when you're typing it in as hex, they come in these little pairs, so it's not going to be 224, it's going to be 0, 2, and then 2, 4. And because it's what they call little endian, they actually put the second grouping actually comes first, and then it jumps to the right for the most significant bit. And this game is goofy because some of them, as it turns out, do the little endian, and some of the entries are not little endian; they're actually big endian, which is kind of goofy. But so be it. I guess that's actually maybe perhaps helpful because you'll see that illustrated in here. So anyways, we scroll through till we get to where the gold is. So we're looking for 24, which was the one pair. Yeah, okay, we're good. Yeah, 24. And then 2, but because it's preceded by a 0, let me see, where's my mouse pad? So instead of, what did we have? Let me put this one on top. So yeah, 224 is our hexadecimal number we're looking for. But as I say, because they come in pairs, it's going to be 0224. So that would be the number we're looking for, but because it's the little endian order, it's going to be, oops, sorry, you're going to reverse that. So instead of 0224, you're looking for 2402. So yeah, when we're in our hex editor, we basically, you can run a search for it. Like you just type in say 24, search as hex, and then find, and then you wait till it actually finds it. But yeah, you'd find 24 here, and then you look at the next pair, and that ends up being 2. So this would be our gold amount, and we'll see that that's at offset 9008. So you can highlight it and right click on it and put a new tag in there, and you can tag it as gold. And then here, let me see, where's view, our tag panel, there we go. So yeah, you basically scroll through your document, your this hexadecimal mess of digits, and you find these amounts, the known amounts. Okay, so let's say, I'm trying to think of other things that we know. We know that when we started, the character had an experience level of 1. So we could scroll through these this mess of digits that have changed and find 1. And the thing is in the in that other one that I had edited, I believe he had 2 for his level. So just looking here, you can see this one's a 1 and this one's a 2. So that could very well be his level. The trick is to just basically change that digit to whatever you want it to be. You know, you could do like FF. That might seem a bit high at the moment, but that would be the highest number that you could do with hex. So let's just do 22. You'd save that, and then you'd open up your the game, and then you'd see if there's any difference. Let me jump back to where the gold was. Where'd that end up being? Was it here? Oh, here it is. Yeah, so this, let's say you made that 2222. That would end up being 8738, so 2222. And he'd be level 22 if I put that in the right spot. I don't know if I did. That was actually for the second character. This would be for the first character. He was level 2 and he jumped up to level 3. So yeah, if we were to file, save, and then close this out, yeah, that's not a big deal. Don't need to save that. And then, where'd I put my emulator? We open our emulator, run it. Or wait. There it is. And then we load it. If we did everything all right, then when you open up your menu, instead of being, I don't know what the gold was originally, but because we changed it to the hex 2222, then it ends up being 8738 for the decimal equivalent of the gold. And then you'll see 34, which is the decimal equivalent of 22, because we threw 22 in for the level as well for both of them. Normally his level would be 2 and her level would be 1. And then the trick is to bring up, bring up his status, and you scroll through, you write down, you know, strength, you write down these digits, 12, 11, 18, 15, 17, 16, 20, 50, and then all these as well, you know, as hit points, spell points, magic, and weapon levels. And then you can jump back into your editor and you do the exact same thing where you do the search to compare. Oh, wait, let me close that for a sec. That's still buggy, and it gives the it fails to destroy a thread, which isn't good. That just means it's leaking memory or something when it's leaving stuff that it didn't actually close out. But yeah, so you basically do the exact same thing where you file compare until you figure out what's what, and you get you get an idea of which regions are actually editable. Say for instance right here, this says Port of Parm. That's the actual ASCII text, like these hexadecimal digits, like 50. If you look it up on an ASCII table, that would end up being, you know, these letters over here. So you could throw, I don't know, is this going to let me type in here? I think it used to, but maybe it doesn't anymore. There it goes. Okay, Port of Parm. Oh, come on now. Oops. Maybe it only does one at a time. Oops. I think it used to do it, but I don't know, whatever. It's buggy. Alright, there. So change, you know, swap that out just a little bit so it has a different text. This right here ends up being the gold. And as you'll notice, I've got 4 of these highlighted because it actually stores it in 4 places. The thing is when you play the game, even though it has 4 spots for the variable, there's only so many spaces on the screen that show up, so you don't want to actually go beyond what will show up on there. Let's see, so I'd figured this one to be FF C9 9A and then 3B. It could probably actually be a little less because as you collect gold in the game, it's going to end up filling that in, so I might actually drop one of the digits off. But if you look, FF, or well, it's a little endian, so 3B, or sorry, 3B 9A, or sorry, 9A C9 FF, and then it ends up being this many 9s, 9 9s, I guess. And then this digit here seems to represent the who's in the party, and I figured those digits out. The thing is it ends up being also along with another digit that's down here somewhere. One of these, I think it's this digit here, has something to do with it too, but I don't know what exactly that does. I'm going to tag it real quick just to be certain. That it isn't changed. But yeah, here's what I had found out. When I was originally looking at it, it was easy to tell that this was the first character, and it was kind of easy to tell that this chunk of code here is for the second character. Justin and Sue were the 2. The thing is I was thinking that all all the rest of this data that's down here, I thought that actually went with Justin as well. I was thinking that these were his stats and then all of this was like his magic. But that isn't the case. It seems that they have just like this block of code for Justin, and then this ends up being the second character, which is Fina. And it took me a minute to figure that one out. But I ended up noticing there was a pattern over here where it was going 1, 2, 3, 4, and that I didn't see in the beginning. I was going by the I think by the experience, the fact that this was his level. Like, I knew where his level was and maybe how much experience he had. So those were those were the two known variables. And I had the same thing for Sue down here because I knew her level was here and then her experience was down there. So I really was thinking that that whole chunk of code was for one, and then the next was down like in this region. And then later on I had discovered that when you bring in another character, it ends up being like, you know, that chunk of code there. And then it made sense that these were numbered, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, yada yada. So there's 8 characters that are player characters. You don't actually use all of them at once, though. You just use, like, you know, somewhere between 2 and 4 characters at any given time. So I scrolled through and highlighted the known variables. There are a few of them that I'm not certain of yet, but this is a good amount of them that are covered so far. Basically, if you change this, you could go all the way up to FF, which would be the hexadecimal equivalent of, or, well, the decimal of 255. The thing is the screen, when you're actually playing the game, it only goes up to, it only has 2 spaces there. So if you're to write 3 digits into something that only holds 2 spaces, that would be what they call a, like, essentially like a buffer, you know, like an overflow, where you're going beyond what it's expecting. So really, 99 would be a safe number to throw in there, which ends up being hex 63. So we could safely put 63 in here without having to worry about running over what the program's expecting. The trick with that is, I don't think experience really matters by that point. You could probably put anything in there. You could probably just put in 0, zeroed out, and it'd be alright. I did find out that if you throw in the same number that we'd figured for the gold, then it ends up being 9 nines, which is FF, C9, 9A, and then 3B. Again, that's because those digits are little endian, so they're reversed. And you'll find that the stats that they use, like here's the hit points, E703. This, if you type in E703 on here, it ends up being kind of gibberish up here. The trick is if you flip the groupings, then it makes sense. 999 for your decimal number. And again, that was one of those things where I probably threw in like FFFF and found out that it was too much to be on the screen, so I just typed in 999, found out that it was 3E7, and again I just threw a 0 in front of this. I don't think it'll, yeah, okay, yeah, maybe it will. So 03E7, I wish they let you comma pair, like put a space in there, but they don't. That would be kind of neat if this actually did that, the little base converter. If it if it would let you click instead of just signed and unsigned, if it would let you do little endian as an option. And again, some of these have it that way, some of them don't. This one, the strength, or wait, 0, yeah, 0, 0, 3, E7. This actually shows up as what they call big endian, where it just goes straight through. The more significant set of digits is on the left, whereas with the little endian it's on the right. What did that end up being? Sorry, E7, 0, 3, and then with this 0, or wait, let's see, that's strength. What was I looking for? I guess I was thinking spell points. It's not really a big deal, but yeah, you basically get a feel for which digits can fit where by, you know, tinkering with the variables, loading up the game and finding out what it does. And you find out, you know, what their maximum amounts are. I'll show you real quick. We save it here, and we'll load it up. Or yeah, sorry. There it is. That might stutter a bit because we're screencasting. It doesn't normally stutter, but this isn't a super fast computer. I don't think it would stutter on my other computer, but that one died on me too. I got it revived, but it's I don't know, I don't feel like screwing with it. This one's actually doing okay. So yeah, here are the characters, and then if you bring up the menu, you'll see gold is now, we've got 9 nines here. That was from putting in that string of, you know, 6 hexadecimal numbers that were, you know, reversed pairs. And then his hit points end up being 999 out of 999, and his level's 99. So, you know, once you figure out where those locations are, you can basically tweak them, throw in some digits, find out what it does. Oh yeah, this ended up being more than what I expected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7 of them will fit on here, so we could probably take that back a little. Let me see, where would that be? I think that was this. So 7 nines, yeah, 999. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this would be 7F. 7F 96 9 8 and then 0 0. All right. Yep. And then that should end up being, that should actually fit within that gap. Let me actually tag that 7F. Nine six nine 8 0 0. All right. These end up being inventory items, and I found the. Let me show you how I found that. I'm trying to think of where that was. I think it's in ROMs. Or no. How in the heck did I figure that one? Oh yeah, it's Um, it was in the save states. I found out the way that the emulator does its save states is it keeps them as GZ compression. That took a minute to figure out. I was trying to open them, but it didn't seem to open anyway. But if you rename it, you basically just rename the extension, change that to GZ, then you can actually open it in your you know, archive manager, like open it like a regular zip file, and then extract the contents. And then if you open that in your hex editor, you can scroll through and see the actual contents of the of what would be your PlayStation. This is the actual code that's being run in your PlayStation. And if you'll see over here that they actually have text, these would be the you know, what's actually like character, you know, when the players say stuff and it shows up on the screen, these are the strings of text that it would actually show to you. So somewhere in there I found a list of the items. I don't know exactly where it was. I guess that part isn't. Yeah, there's some of it. I basically highlighted all of these, copied them into a text file. Let me see where that is. It might be in here. Yeah, I copied them into a text file, and it ended up being like this, where they were all separated by a dot. So I did a find and replace, and I changed the dot. Hang on. I copied the code for enter. It's not seen, like you can't really hit enter in the find and replace thing, but you can paste it in there. So you copy it and then you replace all the dots with the return key, and then it ends up giving you a list of all the items. These are the short names, basically the 8 or 9 characters that fit within the display. These are the actual, like the full spelled out name, which I think shows up maybe at the bottom of the screen when you click on the item. And then if you keep scrolling down, then it gives you a description of the items. So I, you know, separated those out. Or wait, where did I put that? Yeah, item names. Separated those out into individual text files so that I could figure out what they were. And if you actually view the line numbers, these numbers that are over here on the side, like 10 spirit stone, if you put those into the hex editor, that would be like 0, 0. Well, here's the thing. 10 and decimal ends up being A for hex. So instead of 0, 0, 0, or sorry, instead of 10, it would end up being 0A. So if you throw that in there and save it, then when you load up your emulator, you actually have that item. Let's see. Oh yeah, and Porta Parmesan, if you see. Oh, it didn't say the and Romano. I could have sworn I put and Romano in there, but maybe it didn't save it. Maybe that was too many digits. I thought it could fit 30 characters in there, but I could be mistaken. Let's see. Menu is up. Let's see. Items. Oh yeah, that's what we're looking for. If you'll see, or no, wait. What did I do? Did I not save it? Or I don't know. I could have sworn I saved it, but maybe I saved it on the other character. Oops. Wait. There it is. Or no. Man, I'm so not. What the hell did I do? Oh, I'm on use. Sorry. I'm not used to these. Wait, what the hell? There it is. Okay. No, she doesn't have it either. Alright, I did something wrong. I don't think I saved the file or something. Let me close these out. That's not important. Alright, that's on the first character. 000A. Oh, you know what it is? This is little endian, so that should be 0A 00. The pairs, yeah. I forgot. After having said that to you, I should have been fresh in my memory, but it wasn't. So yeah, did I save that? I'm sorry. It's my brain is not what it used to be. Alright, here. F2, F3. Load game. It'd be nice if that was just a little faster. Alright, there we go. That still doesn't have it listed. Wound. It should be showing up like somewhere down here. Maybe it prefers that they're only in like order, like it won't, maybe it won't throw the next one in unless it's right there. Zero. I don't know, did I not save it? I really don't know. I was thinking that if you edited it would give you a, it would actually tell you, but maybe not. I know on my other text editor it puts a star on there if it's been changed. This might not actually, the hex editor might not actually do that. Alright, there we go. Yeah, see, Spirit Stone. See, I probably did that right, but I might not have saved it the last time or something. I know I was thinking about it. I should have clicked it anyway. Yeah, so we've got basically like quite a few. This can actually be closed. Quite a few variables have been, you know, I've figured out where they are. I didn't actually have any of this information listed anywhere. It was just kind of trial and error. Some of it was, you'd compare the results with the with a known and do that. Another trick to use is just grab an entire block of data and then fill it in with like 0.3, and then you see what changes in the game. If you find out something changes, then you can isolate it a little bit by undoing, and then you just do a smaller segment, and then you fill that with something else and see if it ends up, see if you get a different result the next time. You keep doing a smaller amount until you get until you get it down to which variable actually does something. So like in this case, this tells which disk you're on, whether you're on disk 1 or disk 2. This tells which players, I don't know, this is a goofy one because it keeps track of which players are in the party, but it doesn't keep track of which players are in the line of who's following who's around. When you do that, that's this dot over here. If you change this one, then it switches who's walking around, and then you'll want to end up changing these over here so that it ends up being the same as this, so that when you load the screen, you get the proper names listed. Because if you don't change both of those variables, then you get, like, you'll have different names listed on your save file. Yeah, see, wait, port of Parmesan and Romano. I swore I did that, and I don't know, maybe it doesn't do. I'm surprised it goes up to Parmesan, but then it doesn't go any further than that. I know I've edited it before and it was okay with that. You know what maybe it is because I used 00 here instead of 20, because I believe 20 might be the space. That's probably what it is. Same with this. I bet it's seeing that as the end of the text, whereas the actual ASCII value for the space is 20. So that's one of those things that if you don't know ASCII, you might not know that. But I just happened to see the 20 right above that, and I knew that that was a space. So it occurred to me that that might actually be the reason why it's not doing that there. I'm trying to think of what else is kind of cool. Basically, you can, tweak out all these variables. Oh yeah, I was going to say, if you change this to, say, like 0F, that ends up being Justin, Fina, Rap, and Liette. So Justin would be 1, Fina is, wait, why is it not doing my text? Is it doing it? I don't know. This thing's buggy, I swear. It's putting it over here instead of over here. There it is, okay. Okay, Justin is player 1, what's her name is player 2, Fina. Rap, I believe, was 5, and then Liette ends up being 8. So you put all those values in so that it's the same as on there without changing this. I'm not certain what that does, but it definitely changes who's in your party. I'll figure that one out later. So yeah, we save it and then load up our emulator. Bring up Grandia. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. You gotta hit F2 and then F3 so that loads it. It's like a save point. I guess you don't have to. You can sit there and wait for it to load, but yeah, okay, port of Parmesan and Romano. we've got the sprinkled cheese, and it has Justin, Fina, and whoever as the characters listed that we changed on our list. And then you scroll through and you've got all 4 of those characters following you around. I think that the variable for the actual displayed character is different though, and I haven't found that location. So the pictures, the actual pictures of the characters are wrong. It has Justin right, but all the rest of them are show up as his as well, because the program hasn't actually gone through and written in the variable for those character the portraits for those particular characters. I'm not certain where that would be. Maybe that 1 digit that I was pointing out earlier, that 4 might have something to do with it. But you'll notice, like, if you bring this up, then his total experience isn't running beyond what's expected there. We could go in and change, like, all of the items that he's got in here as well, which would again be just listed in that, that list that I brought up. So yeah, I don't know, there's quite a bit you can do in there, and I don't know. I guess I'd like to think that that's pretty cool to do. I'll bring some more information up later as I find it, but this seems to be a pretty good starting point. Where the hell's... Alright, I'll catch you later.